On the streets, on the streets, on the streets, on the streets. You need a beer, buy a beer.
Some of the issues buzzing with VGMA 24. Robert is also in the building. Robert, Chairman, everything cool?
We are good, Chief.
Have you heard the conversation?
I've heard.
Okay. So the Arnold's issue has to do, number one, with communication. He talked about the fact that if anything had changed with respect to certain categories or even the whole scheme in general, metrics that you guys use in judging or cutting off or shortlisting certain songs, it should be put out there, because he feels certain artists actually work to get an award. They actually put in a lot of work to get there. So if it has changed or it had changed, there should be some form of communication. Also, he also believed that there are certain things that you can't actually put numbers to, or that he was talking about. Certain things like excitement generated around the song. You can't put numbers to it. How do you feel about his statement so far?
Arnold it follows the VGMA scheme,
yeah,
and that's clear. And the truth is, I understand what he's saying, but I think that there are a few things that he's missing. And somebody of his stature, I would think that a conversation of this, for example, let me just get straight to the points.
Go straight.
So, one, what is popularity? I don't want to even be a bit about it. Let's just go straight to the point. Popularity. So, a clear definition of popularity says that the state or condition of being liked, admired, or supported by many people. The key word here is what? Many people. When you say many people, with respect to music, and we are talking about you being popular, it means that we are talking about the base that are connecting with you, are feeling your vibe. How do you determine that? By using metrics to be able to evaluate and say, okay, so based on this, we believe that many people are following you. So that's one of the key things that clearly explains your popularity. Now, if you come to the scheme, there is competition, an unspoken competition, in the sense that you have slots for about 8 people, you have slots for about 6 people. You have to measure who has the upper hand when it comes to the popularity, so that you know who makes the cut.
Yeah.
So if, for example, you want to be able to determine who is popular in terms of the works that they have done, you want to evaluate what we call music consumption. How has music been consumed within the year under review? The music consumption patterns clearly point to us what needs to be considered when it comes to who is popular or not. So, how is music being consumed? We have the on-demand, and then we are also we have the push and pull. Push coming from radio stations, television stations, and DJs at various events. The DJs is actually in between, because sometimes they can have requests, and then we have the pull, which is people actually making requests of songs that they want. So when it comes to all the streaming platforms, people actually go there and demand what they want. So they play the kind of music they want. All of these means put together determines how music is consumed. Now, the denoted version of what I have just said in terms of this plenty English is that we have streaming platforms where people are consuming music. It has come to replace what used to be physical sales of records. He mentioned at some point that they were collecting that particular information because it is an indication of what is being consumed. You understand? If people are purchasing X amount of cassettes,
meaning
means that they are consuming it, unless
they
they are buying and going to throw it away. But if they are purchasing that, then the logic in that particular sense simply means that they are consuming. If people are going online to stream a particular song,
meaning
then
it
means they are consuming it. They like it. If DJs are telling you that a particular song is creating excitement because we hold that committee sessions, then it should at the end of the day, listen. If you have people doing their dipstick research in the various regions and telling you which songs are banging on the streets, it means that at the end of the day, it is working. If you have done your radio monitoring and you've seen that songs are topping the charts, then at the end of the day, it means there are songs that are being pushed out there. And obviously, because the radio stations, we believe that DJs are listening to what people are supposed to be following, it means that there are songs that people like. Because you have you're a DJ. You have to play songs that the people want. If you played some door song, go work. That kind of stuff. You may try a few times, but at the end of the day, too, there are songs. You maintain the songs on your playlist that you know that people want.
Songs.
Exactly. So if you have all of this information, available to you. You work around it, and then you use that as the basis to determine whether somebody is really popular or not. And then when you finish, you determine the ranks, and then the ranks, those who don't fall in the cuts, they go off.
So you believe Arnold's point is actually flawed when he pitches in the metrics, the numbers.
Yeah. So I don't get. He should be able to tell us break down popularity. Tell us how he wants to evaluate popularity. He shouldn't say generate excitement. What is excitement? He should tell us how he can evaluate excitement. He should tell us how he can evaluate popularity. Maybe we'll learn from him. But as of today, music patterns, when they change, you have to be abreast of and with changes that are happening within the music space and work with it. I don't believe that anybody within the space of music, those who submit records, who are being considered, have given us information for us to be able to evaluate them, will go against the fact that we cannot use their streaming numbers, which they know is very important to determine or to be a component of the key things we use in determining whether somebody is actually popular or not. And that is why Bulldog is saying that people like him, they put their songs on the streaming platforms. Yeah. Certainly, he knows that particular platform or the streaming platforms will contribute into telling how many people are interested in the product, how popular you are on a particular, within a particular dispensation. So what we are saying is that this is a component, and this particular component is being considered. Necessary. Yes, it's because that is where the world is moving to. And the people who have amazing numbers, they are topping, they are topping charts. Like when we are talking about things happening in this world. And whether or not how people are being evaluated as being the best in their field and categories, the streaming numbers are counting heavily. You cannot, in this age, say that you are going to miss this particular thing. It is a mix. A mix of things is what we use, because we understand our peculiar situation, that everything is not about streaming numbers, but we use the blend of everything, the mix, to be able to use that as the basis to determine what we do.
He also talked about communication. Since PR, you're right, seated right here. He also talked about communicating exactly the changes that have been made to the scheme so far. Was there anything like that?
When we have change, we communicate.
So there's nothing different.
When background things, in terms of things we do, you see, there is not everything. The background things that we use in operating are things that we use in operating. I don't have. If I haven't.
What do you mean when you say background things?
Okay, so for example, we have operational definitions, and then we have definitions that basically talk about the categories.
Okay.
So if you talk about the category definitions, you clearly see it's determined by Academy Board. But this is what determines who wins what.
Yes.
But there are things that we look at that at the end of the day forms the basis for which we actually use in determining who gets nominated.
So these are the background things.
Exactly.
So if I may ask, this be part of the blueprint for you people, where you will watch what they do internally.
Exactly.
Well, we have Arnold back on the line. He wants to react to what Robert is saying. Arnold.
Yes, sir.
Everything cool? Or still...
everything cool. I mean, say me everything.
I can't hear you.
Okay.
Well, Slim, I don't think I in my submission I gave the impression that I had a problem with streaming numbers. I mean, everybody who follows music should know that in the last couple of years, streaming has become an integral part of how we market and distribute our music and the revenue that we generate from music. That's a no-brainer. Everybody knows this. But Robert is saying, with my positioning, I should know. And then, listen, I'm not attacking his position as a PR. That the point is, unless for the core followers of the music awards we not want to be blunt and fair, the communication gap of the scheme has been large. And I say it without mentioning words. Now, Robert is asking me how I should determine how you generate or you determine excitement the song generates. Can I ask Robert a question? Before you guys decided to do streaming numbers, in the last couple of years, for so many years, we were using excitement generated by the song. How are we determining that as PR? Can you tell me?
Yes.
How are we measuring excitement of a song? How are we doing that? Robert, I'm asking you a question, boss.
No, he wants to know how are we measuring excitement generated around a song back then.
Okay. what exactly? So there are things about history. I don't want to. It's not really. I don't really think that should be my focus of conversation right now. I want to deal with that which you are talking about. If you want to talk about streaming numbers being important or not less important, let's discuss that. If you want to talk about communication, let's discuss that. If you feel some information is required and you don't have it, let's discuss that, because there are two things I do when I sit on the platform. First of all, I listen, and secondly, I also try to explain stuff. If at the end of the day something is missing, I can come back to you and tell you that this is missing, and it will be addressed. But that conversation is what I need to have. As for the banter on or conversations on what happened in the past and what we did and what this person did and that, I don't think it's neither here nor there for now. I would want to deal with the specifics, available.
But Arnold, I want to ask you a question.
But before you even ask me the question, this guy posed a question to me. That's how do I determine how a song generates excitement? I'm asking him that over the years, when we were using popularity without streaming numbers, when we were using popularity and excitement, how did we measure it? And you are telling me that you don't want to be specific.
Arnold, do you believe that a chart show is a true measure of popularity of a song? Do you believe that?
Okay, so in the give me some time. In the first couple of years that we were doing the awards, we were using chart positioning, and when we were using the chart positioning, the go-to chart show was the Joy FM one, the one that Kwesi Animeje used to host. That was the core chart show that they were using. Then with time, they realized that there were a number of chart shows in the system. So it was very difficult, because you actually have a TikTok topping a chart on Joy FM, and then you have a Praia topping the chart on Adum FM, and then you have a Kotini charting the chart in Kumasi. And so it became difficult actually reconciling the chart. And it was one of the reasons they actually relegated the chart positioning as a yardstick. And then they were also using album sales at a time when albums were really selling. That's why I said when you go to the distribution links, they actually give you the data. And so before you walk into the room as an academy member or as a board member, the data is right in front of you. You know that in 10 weeks or in the year under review, Kontinhini topped the chart 16 times. Kontinhini's album sold more than TikTok's album. So you go into the boardroom or academy room and you vote based on the data that you have in front of you.
Well, Arnold, real quick, I just want to find out a little bit more from you. Yes, how were these charts? How were people ranking these charts? How were they doing it? From votes from listeners, album sales, or how were they doing it?
Okay, so
because there's either ways there is a numbers element to it.
Yes, perfect, and I do not have a problem with it. So those days, like I said, the chart for the Joy FM chart, I've forgotten the name, but Kwesi Animeje used to host it. It was strictly based on the numbers. And so they actually send somebody to actually go to the market and come out with the numbers. And so it was easy to actually figure out, okay, this person sold more than this person. And so when the names or the category or the nominees list come out, you can easily challenge it and say, but in 2005, Kontinhini's album sold more than TikTok's album. So why is TikTok's album getting ahead of Kontinhini? You can easily challenge it.
Okay.
You can go to the distribution side and find out for yourself. Now you are saying, and I don't have a problem. My issue is, okay, if you are using streaming numbers, what is the cap?
Okay, so Arnold, kindly hold your fire, and we're hard pressed. Robert wants to react. Don is also in the studio to also react to some of the things that you're saying.
All right.
Thanks a lot for joining us, Arnold. And Don, first one.
Yeah, all right. So thank you very much, Slim, and good morning to everyone doing the listening right about now. Well, I believe that Robert has a point, Arnold has a point, but Arnold's point is quite specific. Now, according to Arnold, or the school of thought from Arnold, indicates that if you are in business together with someone for over a number of years, if something has to change, you need to inform
communication
before you execute that change. That is what is missing in the whole stuff. Okay. It looks like the change was executed and we were informed as it was being executed. So clearly people who haven't prepared or who don't really look at streaming numbers will be found wanting. Yes, because they didn't know that it was going to be part officially, because in the past it wasn't official, even though it was considered clearly.
I think Robert also has a point. Robert also feels that there's nothing actually changed in the whole process. There are still numbers.
Now we are looking at empirical evidence. Numbers as per our social media sites. You can't lie about that. If it's 42, it's 42.
It's 42.
If it's 43, it's 43. So now things change here.
Okay.
Now, when you do this, or when it happens like this, certain people clearly would be found wanting. Now, one would also argue that, why is it that they are telling us at this tail end? Why is it because somebody needs to be there who has some good numbers, who they are trying to consider? That's why they are bringing in this new law.
They are shifting in the
goalpost.
Goalpost to
Yes. Aha. Let's take it for instance. I'm not saying that this is right. Now, I'm just speculating here.
Yeah.
Let's take it for instance that probably they want to include the streaming list for the artist of the year.
Yes.
You cannot say automatically if Black Sheriff Day inside there,
It will win.
he will win.
No.
Clearly.
No, wait. You see? Sorry,
Yeah.
I wanted to when Robert was speaking, I wanted to ask a question. This thing is very, very serious. Yeah, I like where the conversation is going, but it's deeper. So check this out. If Black Sheriff has more streaming numbers than anybody in a specific
Category automatically he stands a chance of winning.
Yeah.
But then there's also a voting bit of it.
So
He
good.
stands within
wait,
chance.
Wait, hold on. I wanted the conversation to flow,
Relax.
but if we don't take care, we'll be
Please let me just
doing
ask
certain
this
assumptions
question.
that doesn't
So
work.
let me ask this question
let's
just
go
before.
ahead.
I'm saying, if Black Sheriff is in a specific category and he has all the numbers than everybody else, votes has to come in.
Academy.
So is it fair? Is it fair that a Sarkodie wins over Black Sheriff if the Academy and everybody votes for Sarkodie and don't vote for Blacko, who has all the streams?
I think it's the shortlisting part of it that is where the
So that is
is
what
the
you see-
shortlisting part of it.
So what
Or-
Bulldog is saying is a stage after shortlisting.
Okay.
Bulldog is talking about how we select our winners.
Yeah, that's that's exactly
No, so
what
so
I'm
it's
also
different
talking
from the
about.
conversation.
But that's a different conversation.
that's a-
Yes.
the
No,
conversation.
that was an example I gave.
Yeah, that's a
That whole
different
Black
conversation.
Sheriff stuff was an example I gave
Okay.
for the winning side.
Yeah, we get you.
Yes.
But that's another level. That's another level. The first level is what goes into somebody being nominated.
Yeah.
The second level is you have the people who have topped the charts, whether airplay, TV, radio, whatsoever. You have all of that. You've done your dipstick. You've checked from the various regions who is banging. You've gotten information from DJs who are playing here and there. They've given you filler. You have your academy members spread across the country who have shared with you the songs that are banging. Okay, good. So now you have that information, and then you've used that. You put all together the mix, and then you determine who makes the list. Now you
To
throw
that
it-
category.
Yes, to that category. Then you throw it back to the public, the academy, and the board to make a decision as to who they think the winner is. That is what Bulldog is talking about. That what if everything at the time of your research clearly shows that person A is at the top. However, when the stuff comes, then it's because the voting pattern didn't go. So that's another conversation.
No, okay. So let me
but
ask.
I want us to, I want
let me
us to
ask.
deal with.
No, let me ask. Would the social media numbers be included for the winning? Let's assume that they've all been selected. The winners, would they be included?
That's what he's saying.
No,
That's
I
another
want- no.
conversation we should talk.
Yeah, but I want to get this clearly.
No,
Would it
let's-
be
let's
included?
look at what the social media
I mean,
numbers.
talking about
streaming,
Spotify
the
streams.
streaming numbers, yeah, the
That's not
DSPs.
necessarily
Yeah,
social
yeah,
media. I just want
streams.
to be clear.
Yeah, all right. So
Yeah, but it's an indication of your performance. Let me explain something. When somebody says, for example, we used to go and collect data in terms of how much sales has been.
I would appreciate if you answer the correct question directly. That's when you start giving examples like that, we lose the question.
Which question?
The question that Slim just asked you.
Which one?
The question that you're answering right now.
Yeah,
you've
but
forgotten.
yeah,
the
but that's what
numbers.
I'm
Yeah,
yeah, so-
Don is talking about the numbers thing.
Yeah, but I'm speaking about it. When
Okay.
you say that you appreciate, I'm just wondering whether I'm missing the point. That's why.
Okay, you.
Fire. Real quick. I beg.
Yeah.
We don't get time.
If at any point in time there was a need for data to be collected on in terms of songs performance, album sales, whatsoever, then it was an indication.
Okay.
Today, that same thing is being collected, but from the streaming sites, because today's way of selling music is by streaming, and on the streaming sites we have your ability to stream, your ability to download, and your ability to buy. All these three components forms what we call streams in general, in terms of what happens on the DSPs. That is what is still. That was what used to happen when we're in the area or with the era of the cassettes and CDs and stuff like that. This particular age, it has moved onto a different platform. All right, but the same principles do exist. So if you still consider these elements, there's nothing wrong. You are still considering the same thing, just that it's on a different platform, on a different level. Sales is still sales, and these platforms are still paying. So if that particular
it's about the officialization of it by putting it on the form for people to add figures. See, now you've made it like
who is adding figures? I don't get it.
No. You said there was a form out, or one of you said
There was an
a form
additional form
attached.
for information, additional
Yes.
information about the
So
song.
that was communicated.
Yeah.
Everybody that did the application, this particular.
No, but what we are talking about is the pre-communication before this
Yes,
stage.
that was communicated. It was at a point where you are submitting your information.
No, but it takes a year to prepare for the award scheme.
No, you're not getting me. See,
Yeah, maybe I'm not getting you because if it takes a year and you give me 3 months notice, even you haven't done me any good.
Oh, but the data.
I don't know whether you understand
the
because
data-
I need the 9 months
No,
to
you don't
do
need
some
9 months.
additional.
Don't, I beg, hold your
When it
fire.
comes to streaming information, you don't need 9 months.
No, about pushing in your streaming energy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
To promote your works and stuff on like YouTube and stuff to push it.
Wherever you push it, we'll catch it.
Well, Martinez,
No, you are not getting
Martinez,
it.
real quick.
We are talking about the preparation.
Don, your time is up. I beg, your time is up.
Information has already gone out.
Don, your
Robert,
time is up.
all right,
I beg.
all right.
Martinez, real quick.
All right.
Yeah, I think Robert,
A minute.
Robert has done his best to explain this, but I think the confusion is about the communication that didn't come
Early enough.
Early enough, yeah.
probably officially. Let's put it that way. But I think it is well explained, and the information has reached VGMA. VGMA has social media platform, so probably if we had seen that information earlier on their platform, they
What information?
I mean, like the streaming numbers.
Anyway, so Robert,
I think that you guys are failing to understand what music business is.
We understand.
Robert.
what
Is it?
I don't.
No.
Robert, last year
Robert,
you didn't
who-
do that. Last year was it on the form?
Last year.
No, was it? Because the music business has been. I mean, for the
Yeah,
past
and so when
6,
it
7,
changes-
8, 10 years,
I'm sorry, when
it
it
has been
changes-
booming on. I mean, in
Yeah, it's
YouTube
booming,
and stuff.
yeah, so you-
so
you-
don't come
so
and talk
you-
like this.
Martinez.
So-
I
so
beg,
I'm
let
not
me.
talking like this today.
yeah.
Rob,
I don't understand what
where
you're
the
saying.
business
I beg, relax. Let me put your microphone. Your microphones are off. Don, relax. Martinez is on the ground. I beg, make it finish.
Last year, do the thing.
We understand-
30 seconds. Let's
we
go.
understand that when it comes to the music business, streaming numbers, I mean, the streaming platform numbers has come to stay. It's
Yeah.
part of the game.
Yeah.
But the bone of contention is the communication.
The
Like I
communication
said,
bit of it.
social media platform. Let's say if maybe 6 months or 8 months or a year to the program, like a time frame that will help. That probably this
Would have put
this
people
year's
in a better
edition,
frame, yes.
These are maybe changes that has been
Yes.
taking effect,
Yeah.
or blah blah blah. I think that's the angle they are coming from,
Okay.
like official communication. Until maybe you pick a form to submit, you wouldn't know. So
Anyway.
probably aside the artist and the management team who will actually be submitting or who will get access to this
Information to the
maybe
general public
the
too.
general public out
Okay.
there don't know this, and this is because of DJs Azunto for the form and therapy. A lot of people might not know therapy out there on the street, but on the streaming platform, maybe it's huge. But a lot of people know Fanaform on the street, probably don't know that much about it on the streaming platforms.
You see-
So I think that is where the confusion has. It's because of that.
Well,
So
let's
if the
wrap up.
communication has come earlier on. That would
Let's
have
just wrap up, and then tomorrow we'll pick up the conversation
Very
on.
important. So that point where I raised is important to me.
Yes, we'll pick
That-
up.
That's conversation that one.
Yes, it's a serious conversation. Now, secondly, I think, and again, as I said here, I want to suggest something, and I'm sure maybe because the PR is here, he will note it and also share it with the board. You just spoke about TikTok. That song was very huge on TikTok, right? The Funny Form.
Funny form, extremely big.
Now, TikTok isn't part of streams.
Yes,
You can be very huge on TikTok and will not be.
it will not reflect on
stream.
it. Yes.
Now with social media.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
social media, yeah.
I don't know whether the scheme is ready to say okay.
To enhance.
Yes, and say we're
expand
giving a
it.
good.
Yes.
We're giving a category for these songs that hit here.
Yeah.
So where you came in and said, "Oh, the people on the ground," I understand that, but this is different.
The song might be
This-
a
this-
big song
yeah,
on TikTok,
yeah,
and
but
it will
it
not
didn't make-
necessarily
yes.
transform.
So this for again,
Yes.
I only say Charterhouse need to communicate some more.
Yeah.
Then people will understand some of these things. Then they'll even no matter how much they communicate, we will still have issues. But I'm sure the communication will help us. You understand?
Well-
Determine a few of the things.
Well, thanks to you, Bulldog. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Martinez, for joining us.
On the streets, on the streets. Yeah, near Bia, by your